Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
I have something of an announcement to make.
Do you?
Now that I'm in golf.
Clear your throat.
Hold on. So I'm going to be a father.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Yeah, that's what people always say, isn't it?
Your birthday and a baby.
Yes, I thought I'd rob in the fact that I'm an older parent by announcing it on my...
I mean, are you slightly paranoid about any jokes you've made about famous ageing fathers in the past?
What, the David Jason element?
Was he an old dad? Older?
Oh, God, he was...
older?
wasn't he 67 or something like that?
Was he really?
Yeah.
John Humphreys was... And who was the famous one? Was it Des? It was Des O'Connor.
The way I'm seeing it is I probably won't have to deal with those difficult teenage years. I'll be out of there.
Every cloud.
Yeah, exactly. That's the way to look at it. No, it's... I haven't really spoke about it to anyone, but I thought, as you're my radio family.
You thought we'll broadcast it to the nation?
Well, I feel that the people who listen to this show, what is there, 30 of them? I feel that they're intimates of mine rather than audience members.
I imagine they're group texting each other right now.
They might...
They're all sitting in the same room. They all meet in a church hall somewhere in Godalming.
I've already made certain pledges. First of all, I don't want to be, and I know you do this occasionally, Alan, but I don't want to be one of those comics that does material about their children. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you definitely don't want to be a comic like me. That would be a regressive step for your career, Frank.
No, but you know what I mean? I once saw Robin Williams do a whole sort of 25-minute thing about nappies, and I thought, well, I know what's in nappies. Well, where was the surprise element in this?
Well,
you can say that about any observational comedy, though.
Yeah, but there's something...
I've been on a train. What do you want about? Yes, I've eaten airport food. What's the point?
Yeah, but there's something about... If people who don't have kids, they don't want to hear people who do have kids talking about having kids. That's my theory. I was once out. I went to a contemporary dance event with Tony Adams, Lee Dixon. And
Who hasn't?
Yeah, it was a okay, it's against the grain, but the three of us went, and Adrian Chiles as well. And we went for a dinner after, and there was lots of non-football people at the dinner. And me and Tony Adams was talking about football, and he was really, he was telling me loads of information. And Lee Dixon said, Addo, put the ball away, mate. And I've said that to my girlfriend, Kath, a few times. We've gone into baby talk, and I see people glazing over, and I say, Kath, put the ball away.
Great.
So you know it's not a ball, don't you?
it looks like a ball from the outside.
Up at the top, but it's not a ball.
It's a bump.
Oh, it's not. Oh, that's fair enough. Also, I always think that, when people do that stuff, the funny things that kids say, they say, oh, my kid said this thing the other day. I always think if I was a child, I'd never bond with my father if I knew he was using my material.
Yes.
Yeah. I'd think, just write it down, I'll use it when I get older.
526 has texted his congratulations already.
That's fantastic.
Isn't that nice? He's quick off the...
I'm going to remember that from 526.
Yeah. Nice.
So, there's so few numbered congratulations I find in life.
Yeah.
So obviously it's going to change my whole... when you get to my age, you get up 5 or 6 times in the night anyway, so that's not going to...
Absolutely. It's the perfect time to start breeding.
But our producer, Emma, is actually leaving today to have a baby. Daisy, who was
they're not related, you should
No, it's not that. Well, the babies might be related, but not to my
Touch the Arnold Schwarzenegger about you.
Yeah, thanks very much. Well, can I just say, I don't want to quote my own jokes, but there was a man in the audience last night from California, and I said, isn't Arnold Schwarzenegger the governor of California? And he said he was, but he isn't anymore. And I said, I think you should anticipate his return. And the audience laughed, and I thought no one would get it, and I was so pleased. Anyway, so there I was talking about babies, but then I remembered a joke I did. And I got excited.
This is what your child has in store.
Exactly.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
So, Frank, have you been enjoying Prince Harry in Jamaica?
No.
Oh, dear. Oh, my
No,
goodness.
I think he went of his own accord. He didn't, of course.
He's having a little bit of
He didn't go on his own.
I'm calling it a gap
expenses.
year, Frank. It's a bit of a gap year, isn't
he's
it?
in the army, isn't he? He's in the army in the way that people in the royal family are in the army.
In the way that status quo are in the army.
No, I'd say status quo are more in the army. I don't know, I sort of think that isn't Prince Harry in the army the way that I'm like an honorary member of the Laurel and Hardy fan club.
Right, okay.
Isn't it? I don't know, I could be wrong. But anyway, he's found some time off to go to the West Indies. And he wore blue suede shoes.
They were blue desert boots.
They were
You
hideous.
see, posh people do like a pop of colour, I find. They love that. There's always a cravat or a red trouser.
Red trousers. They love red trousers.
Yes, they love that.
Yeah, but what he's thought here is we're going to be dancing, so I'll wear blue suede shoes like rock and roll. He's got it wronger than anyone's ever got anything in his whole life. But I think, having a close look, and I'm not one to advertise, but they look like Clarks to me.
I don't think they were.
I think they were Clarks.
Do you?
We know, don't we, from our inside information, that Clarks shoes are basically currency in the West Indies.
Oh.
Hence the song, everybody help me out, so me get me Clarks. Everybody help me out, so me get me Clarks. Dum-dimmy dum-dum, so me get me Clarks. You can do the voice if you're doing the song.
Sorry, can I just establish that was Frank's insider information he just talked about?
Oh, what?
Yes. Yeah, well, yes, it's... yeah, so I think someone said to him, as the ultimate gift, really, they've given him some blue Clarks.
No.
He can't have wore them in a... Oh, Elvis, he had blue suede shoes, and he's a bit like Bob Marley. He can't have thought that, can he?
I think a posh friend said to him, those look great, man, absolutely wicked.
They look so good with chinos.
I think that's exactly what happened. I think that's totally what happened.
Oh,
And
no.
surely, if he's going to a hot country, pop some flip-flops in the bag. Like, wear some flip-flops. It's sunny weather.
I don't think you're allowed to wear flip-flops if you're a member of the royal family.
Or Birkenstocks, German. Be
Yeah.
appropriate, wouldn't it?
Did he
Been
quote
fine, isn't it?
Bob Marley as well, which made me cringe a bit?
Yes, he said, every little ting's going to be all right, is what he said. That was a terrible...
That reminds me of when my physics teacher once said, so you are able to get into the groove, as it were.
Every
Yeah.
little thing's gonna... He may as well
Horrible.
have gone word up. Oh, horrible.
Yeah, but I say, you do find when you're there that you think, oh, I better. I remember dancing to, that One Love. I danced to that, and they just kept playing the band, and I thought, I better not sit down, or people think I'm racist. I danced for about 2 hours, 40 minutes. I thought I couldn't see. I'd gone blind. I couldn't breathe. And I thought, I don't want to upset these people. I actually thought these people, which of course gave the game away.
Frank Skinner.
On Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
Let's get it out of the way. I swam. I swam a length this week for the first time in my life of the swimming pool. Not to the outsider, particularly impressive achievement, but to
No, I won't have that.
but to the frightened middle-aged man. A mountain has been climbed. Even Sandy War is applauding in the other room. It's a soundproof booth, but I know that I know the visual
Frank,
for applause.
I won't have you minimising your achievement, because we're all very proud of you this morning, aren't we?
I'll tell you what's like.
No one answered. No one answered in this room.
I'll tell you what slightly impaired it for me is when I did it, I got very excited. When my hand actually touched the wall at the end of the swimming pool, I was very excited. And I turned to the crowd who'd been incredibly supportive.
And I was in the crowd, just
Yes.
FYI.
I'm afraid I clenched my fist and said, "Come on."
Yeah.
It was
Stuart Pearce.
Stuart Pearce style.
I was thinking Andy Murray. Worse still, I was thinking something I've seen Andy Murray's mom do quite a lot. And I thought, is that what happens? You learn to swim, you become Andy Murray's mom. I don't want people saying, and every time I'm on telly saying, is he divorced? I don't want that. Where's the dad? I don't want that going on.
And then you splashed the water with your fist, which I liked.
I went crazy. I mean, some of the things looking back on now, I mean, that morning, I took such a time over my shave because I thought it would make me a little bit more aquadynamic
Right,
in the
excellent.
water. And I had a lot of pasta the night before. I thought, build up the carbs. Like I was going to do a marathon.
Excellent.
25 metres we're talking.
No, can I say there was an element of jeopardy being poolside. I didn't go for flip-flops, I went for chunky heels.
Did you?
I'm not changing my show for anyone.
I thought that was sensible. There isn't a Veruca in Britain that would have gone through those heels.
How have the Barukas dealt with your swimming?
I haven't mentioned the Verucas.
Have they gone?
No, I've just. I
never
just
told them about
I didn't tell them. I thought they'll find out soon enough.
Even though when you first started doing it, we talked about them every week on the radio.
I think all the sport relief money I've raised will be spent on the Veruca pandemic I've left behind me.
Cleaning the pool.
No, but Frank, I would say it was 25 metres, about 20 metres in, there was a will he, won't he moment. I have to
Definitely.
say, I thought, oh, the lad's tiring. And it was a moment of genuine jeopardy.
No, I took in a bit of water. I could feel it. I thought I'll blow it out next blow, but it didn't
Really?
really come out. It was at the back of my throat. And if I was just in the normal training sessions, I say training, in my lessons, that would have been my panic and stop point.
Yeah, well, I saw I saw on YouTube. I was travelling at the time, and
Oh, dear.
and I saw it. And that the guy from Liverpool, the teacher, he took quite a stern tone with you on the like bit of footage, and he was going, "Just don't worry about it."
I know.
And
I
thought,
loved
well,
that.
But that's the whole point. He is worried about it.
That's what we all need.
That's why we're here.
At the end of the day, any problem you've got in life ultimately needs someone to say, just pull yourself together.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
Now, can I start, before we go any further, by saying I was shocked, horrified and upset by the topless photographs. I think.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's disgusting.
Yeah.
I'm talking, of course, about the new Cliff Richard calendar, which is previewed in the papers this morning.
Oh, lovely.
How old is Cliff? 72.
I'll tell you,
Too.
well, he says, I'm making 70 the new 50.
Yeah.
If I was 72, I think I'd be bringing my calendars out a month at a time. Like the game-by-game contract that players prone to injury sometimes
Yeah.
take up.
I think he looks smoking hot.
Do you?
He's got good abs. He's got a much better
does.
body than I have. Let me make that absolutely clear. The face, I could, I don't know if I'd swap for the face, but
You've got a better face.
Yeah,
I
the
like the,
face looks. It seems to be the same face on every picture. So I'm thinking he maybe had one when he thinks, I only look about 70 on that. We'll use that and just move it about a bit. But
Or it's lots of dishy younger men wearing those face masks that you see sometimes at
Oh yeah.
football matches.
Oh
now.
God, what if it was that? I'm just looking for elastic.
Frank,
see it now.
can I just say, I'm not sure about a gold trouser in a Caribbean location, though.
Well, I think that's good.
It's
I think it
impractical.
reflects the sunlight and keeps everything cool downstairs.
I like the one where he's on the jet ski. It's got a touch of the Vladimir Putin about it. You know when he catches fish or goes scuba diving or something.
Yeah, Mussolini used to do that.
Right.
Any photograph Mussolini photo opportunity, he'd take his shirt off. And Putin has taken exactly the same thing. So it's Mussolini, Putin and Cliff Richard.
Yeah, the big three.
Yeah, exactly.
As they're known.
That'd be a great pub quiz question. What have they got in common? He does look amazing.
He does.
Yeah.
does.
And do you know,
Slim, very slim.
he says in the
is.
accompanying
He's
interview,
not.
which I think is almost Pulitzer Prize winning,
Yeah.
some of the stuff they've got out of him.
It's on the long list.
Yeah, Cliff says, I'm never going to be Arnold Schwarzenegger. And I can't
I know
argue
it-
with that.
No, I think he doesn't believe in coming back. Cliff.
No.
No, he's not a Buddhist.
But guess what? This doesn't happen by chance, these abs. He says, when I know my calendar is coming up,
Yeah.
I go to the gym for about 3 months before, every other day. So let that be a lesson to you boys.
I can do that in 3 months. That's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, and they can make your hair that colour as well.
Of course, if ever there was a man who doesn't need love handles, it's Cliff Richard. Enjoying neither love nor being handled in any way.
No, that's a nice friend that he lives with.
Well, I think he's
Isn't they friends?
I know. Does he live with anyone?
Yes, he does.
I thought he just lived with his record collection. No, I met Cliff. He was.
He's got
a nice fella.
He calls him his property manager.
Yeah,
There we go.
I like it. I love an elaborate euphemism. No, brilliant. Of course, I mean, he's a very low-profile character. In the old days, to finish a gig, he wouldn't be off with, he wouldn't be around with fans and all that. And
He was off with his
none of
property
that.
manager.
He just used to slip into the shadows. What else is going on today?
Well,
what about Kate?
yeah.
We should talk about Kate, shouldn't we?
We should really.
Let's call her our Princess of Hearts.
Shall we?
Yeah.
You could start something there.
Yeah, that'd be good, I think. What did you think? What did you think, Amy? You're a lady.
Well, can I say?
Do you think it's bad or...
Oh, I think it's disgraceful. But I do think I was surprised she was what I call a roof down girl. I didn't think she'd be that kind of girl.
Well, I think, one has to sacrifice many things when you become a member of the royal family, and I thought one of them might be topless sunbathing.
Yes, I think you could be right.
Because what you get back is not bad. Someone said to me, topless sunbathing, but here's a palace, and you never have to work again. I know where I'd opt. Actually, I'd work. Obviously, I'd still come here. But I wouldn't come here topless like I normally do.
You could walk it, though, from the palace.
No, I'd come by... I'd love to arrive with one of them golden coaches outside 4 horses on a Saturday morning. That'd be, because you'd be sitting in there and you'd hear... Oh, here comes Frank.
Oh, and then it'd be Shep pulling it.
Yeah. I'm afraid Shep is no longer with us.
I know.
Wish you hadn't brought that up.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Oh, this is Frank Skinner. I'm on Absolute, and I'm playing to you. No, I can't. Middle-aged man doing that, terrible.
Oh, so Richard
Alan
Madeley.
Cochrane, Emily Dean, and we're talking good, we're talking clean. You can text us on 81215. That's our scene, you know what I mean. Follow us on Twitter using Frank on Absolute.
What?
Don't shoot. That's cute.
Oh my God!
Oh, it's so embarrassing. I could feel my hat turning round so the peak was facing the back as I spoke.
There's a bit where we do really funny bits on this show, and Daisy the producer...
I meant there used to be.
Daisy the producer immediately scribbles it down for the trailer. I think that's just happened with your little top of the hour rap there.
Oh, very embarrassing.
So I'll look forward to hearing that on Absolute all week.
I find people who rap for a living quite embarrassing, but when like middle-aged men do it...
Can I just say, Frank, that was the audio equivalent of Cliff Richard's calendar.
I think you're right. No, if only I'd practiced for 3 months, would have been a lot better. But I do feel like slipping into the shadows now and never ever coming out again.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Now, what I think is, I was in the chair for 2 hours at the dentist, and I think there should be some sort of in-flight entertainment.
Right.
Well, didn't you have any?
Well, no.
Oh, my dentist always gives me Sex and the City box. They're all
God,
sorts.
I wonder where that was going. Tell you what, he does it. You don't have there's a screen in there.
There's a screen.
No.
Yes.
What, can you
You
see
can
it?
keep
What
saying
about the
no.
big
I'm going to
lights?
keep saying yes. It happened.
But the big light's in the way, isn't it?
Well, it depends what procedures you're having.
This is the
I don't know where
dentist.
to look. Well, I mean, if I'd thought, I would have gone for my audio.
Oh, you could have taken a Dracula, or...
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe that's finished now, isn't it? I listened to the talking book you gave me the other day, the War of the Worlds.
How was it?
It was great. Really
Bit frightening.
Yeah, a bit frightening.
Well, that's what you want from War of the Worlds.
But I knew that it was going to be frightening, so it was frightening in a good way.
Oh, spoiler alert.
Yeah.
50 years later.
Well, I went to my accountant's yesterday.
Bit frightening?
How was
No, it was all right. I walked past the Jimmy Carr shrine in the corner. Now, in the waiting room there, you go in the waiting
room and the accountant? Oh, I know what you mean.
You know, when you go in the waiting room anywhere, you might get, Reader's Digest or something like that.
And that, Geo?
There's an iPad in my accountant's. You can with games loaded.
No way.
Yeah. So I had 10 minutes with Angry Bird before I went into it.
Angry Bird, like he's a friend of yours.
Yeah. No, what happens is I Skyped Kath. That's what I meant.
Frank
Skinner.
on Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
When your allotment's getting a bit overgrown and it's clear that you've lost interest in it, is it like when you're in a car? When you sit in a car and then someone who thinks, oh, well, they're obviously leaving, comes and pulls up and waits for you to pull out. Are there people hanging around waiting for your allotment to come
I suppose, not in their physical being, but they're on a list and they've been on it for 3 years. That's why you get a telling off.
You've met someone very happy. Let's look at it that way as a positive thing.
That's a good way of looking at it.
Yeah.
It's not that we've given it up, it's that they've got it.
Enid! There's a letter from allotment people. Come quickly. Gather the children.
Yeah. I feel better
So will
about
be
it
a
now.
letter as well. They won't have email.
no, it'll be
Enid's got no
No,
email.
they phone you.
Oh,
They phone you.
Guy
They phone
phones.
you on the home phone, I bet, as well.
Exactly that.
I bet they do.
Oh, we were
On the
startled.
landline.
I bet they do.
Phoned on the
I
landline.
forgot. I think I
Hello? Dudley
think I've got
2908?
You know that?
What?
I think I've got a landline somewhere in the phone.
You think you've got a landline?
I think I put it in a cupboard, but it's still plugged in.
It's probably in the cupboard with all the other stuff that you've not used for a while. Have you got stuff you've given up on? I know you had a hula hoop and that's gone.
Oh well, it's still there, but I haven't hooped. for
But
a
also
while.
there was the great row of New Year's Eve 2010, I
exactly.
believe.
I never really got
What
back
was
from
that?
it. I tell you what,
Really?
I have given up on. I think I've accepted the fact I will never be in Doctor Who.
Have you?
I got my manager.
Why would you want to?
I'm going to fess up to this. I got my manager
Awful.
to phone up the Doctor Who people when I heard this series was
You-
being filmed.
Shut up.
And I
that's
said, look,
great.
I'm happy to be in a monster outfit. I'll just walk by in the background. I just want to be able
You
to
did
say
it.
I've been...
Oh
yeah.
my god, this is the most humiliating thing. Regional sci-fi? That's what you want to be in? You're one of the comic greats.
I think it is national.
You are one of the comic greats, and you are aspiring towards regional
can
sci-fi.
you take that, you're one of the comic greats, and put it out on the trailer?
Frank, I don't want you being in that. It's bad for your brand. We'll discuss it in the
But
break.
if I'm dressed as a Cyberman, who's going to know?
No, and it's the kind of actors in it are all people in the Gold Blend advert. I won't have you doing that.
That's not... I don't
It's
that's fair, is it?
true. It's true. I don't like Doctor Who. Sorry, but
Did
I
they
don't.
say no though? Did they say?
Well, he never mentioned it again, so I take it was he couldn't break it to me. I mean, I would have happily just been, man playing darts back at Rover's Return while Ken Barlow talks to someone. Maybe not Ken Barlow, but yeah.
doesn't
So I was
speak anymore,
I was,
it's
I
all
was
done.
snobbed. So I've given up now. I'll never be in Doctor Who.
Oh, Frank. Well, I can't say I'm sad for you.
Okay.
I think it's a narrow escape.
But it's as sad as the allotment, but in a different way. I think
Yeah,
you'll agree.
Well, what you need to do is do the same as you've just said I should do. Rather than you think of it that you're not on Doctor Who, just think that an actor is getting a role.
Yeah, but is there though, or is there just an empty chair behind Doctor Who that I would have been in? That's what gets me.
Oh, you might have done an accent as well. I think
Yeah,
you
you
would
could have done.
But then if you'd had a monster mask, you wouldn't have had a speaking part.
Well, I would, because I would have said, we'll destroy you if you ever return to the Spanish Palace.
I would cast you based on that.
Well, there you go.
I think that was wonderful.
That's, they don't know what they...
Scene.
Is that what they say? Yeah. Oh, I didn't know that, you and your acting experience. Maybe you should try for it.
I'd love it. I'm available. Alan, tickets still available. Cochrane is available.
I've got a little bit of mascara. You could be Davros.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
The worst thing I think is possible to talk about is when someone tells you a dream that they've had.
Oh, I hate that.
I would put it right up there with when someone tells you about a new American drama they've discovered on the telly.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know when people do
Oh,
that?
when they quote from it as well.
Yeah, they say, oh, have you seen Breakneck?
Breakneck.
No, I haven't seen that. Yeah, it's made by the people who met the West Wing. Oh, man. And as soon as they got to it, all I hear is... I can see their mouths moving. Occasionally I'll tune back in for... I'll tell you who's in it. Do you remember that guy? In this one episode... I don't care. Don't tell me about...
I totally agree, Frank.
I don't like American dramas anyway. The
Really?
Wire, The West Wing, The Sopranos, they're all rubbish.
Yeah.
Frank.
You're wrong in
I
a
agree
way.
with you on
And
The
relax.
Sopranos. You know my feelings on that.
You're wrong in a way.
Sopranos is the worst
No, they're
piece
all
of television
rubbish.
ever made.
I don't. Why are they even
Awful.
on? Take them away. Take them away. Look, you've had your mumbled dialogue. Now go away.
I thought they spoke quite clearly in Breakneck. I enjoyed it.
Breakneck's one of the best. It's not as good as Brassneck, who used to be in the Dandy. But anyway,
So
I-
what's worse than that?
I'm
the
going to
dreams?
go. I'm going to tell you about a dream I had.
Oh,
Oh,
Frank.
good.
Yeah, only because I've always quite fancied myself as a Freudian.
Oh, yeah.
I think I'm quite good at interpreting dreams. I'll have
Are
a
you?
dream and I'll lie in bed and think, oh yeah, and see what that means. And of course that symbolises
Yeah.
work, and that symbolises
Well,
it. Yeah.
Okay.
You say you're Freudian. Let's slip into it.
Okay.
Little joke there. You missed it. You missed it, didn't you? You missed it.
It was excellent. I enjoyed it.
No, I got it.
I didn't get it. I'll be honest with you.
Freudian slip.
Yeah, I'll
Yes.
get it now. Now you've put the angle poise on it.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
So, Frank, I'm interested to hear your views on this scrap of paper that has been under a great deal of scrutiny this week. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Is it your birth certificate?
How dare you? No, but it dates from a similar time. Well, it's from the 2nd century AD. That's the key thing. So around the Triffids' time.
Okay, yes.
But apparently this paper suggests that Mary Magdalene, now she was the naughty one, wasn't she? Bit of a naughty lady.
Well, that's the theory.
Yeah. She may have been married to Jesus, because on this piece of papyrus...
This is Dan Brown again, isn't it? That's in the Da Vinci Code, isn't it?
But Jesus refers to her as my wife. Is what I've, in a Northern Club comic way, he says, take my wife.
In the midst of, the Sermon on the Mount. Anyway, take my wife, please.
Well, in fact, in the same thing...
Fishes, anyone? Yeah.
He also refers to my mother, and I think in-law might have just come off, because I suspect, he would have, as part of his material. But what do you think of this? Seriously, though?
Seriously, what do I think? I don't think it really... I mean, I would like to have been at that wedding.
Yeah.
That'd be brilliant. Imagine when you went in, the usher said, bride's family on the left, groom's family everywhere.
Wow.
Oh.
I wouldn't have minded going, because I bet there would have been loads of wine. Don't you reckon?
Well, initially, but if there's any trouble, it would all become water.
Yeah.
He could reverse if he had to.
Or could he do the reverse?
Oh,
I
God,
never
yeah.
knew that.
Oh, he had a reverse gear.
Or it could have been
do
the
it all. He could
reception.
do Vulcan Death Grip.
Like, they could have had a reception and just loads of flatbread and like fizzy wine that wasn't quite right, and him going, "No, I've not been practicing anything. What are you on about?"
If they find it's authentic, will Mary Magdalene's descendants be able to claim half the universe
Oh, yeah.
in the settlement?
Unless there's a prenup.
Yeah,
She was the
that could
first,
be very not-
first pedicurist, is what I like to call her.
Was she?
Yeah, the feet washing.
Yeah, they don't even know if that was her.
Was it not?
And there's this thing about her being a
A bit Stringfellows.
prostitute. That's nothing, no evidence for that at all in
The
the
lady of the night. Is
Yeah,
that what
she worked. Church wedding, do you think?
Oh, lovely.
rather than just pop down the registry office
Yeah,
and
exactly.
get it
See,
over
I
with.
mean, you know, you got to support the family business a bit.
Exactly.
It does sort of back up the theory that he was a celibate, and that he and that he very happily went to crucifixion.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.